Howdy. Today we want to talk a little bit about family. Now, oftentimes when we think about family, we can focus specifically on blood relatives. Now, tomorrow we're going to look a little bit about those who are as close as family, but not necessarily blood relatives. But today, I want to read to you from John chapter 19. This is after the crucifixion, but before Jesus' death. When the soldiers had crucified Jesus, they took his garments and divided them into 4 parts, 1 part for each soldier, also his tunic. But the tunic was seamless, woven in one piece from top to bottom. So they said to one another, "Let us not tear it, but cast lots for it to see whose it shall be." This was to fulfill the scripture which says, "They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots." So the soldiers did these things. But standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." Then he said to the disciple, "Behold your mother." And from that hour the disciple took her to his own home. Now, there is a double-sided nature to our family relations. You see, on the one hand, family is the very group of people that we can take for granted. We know that they're going to be there for us no matter what. We know that we can turn to them, we can trust them, we can lean on them. But on the other side of that, family is also the group that we don't want to take for granted because they mean so much to us. We want to make sure that they're the ones that we look out for and that we care for the most. You see, it's this kind of a push and pull kind of a relationship with family. You see, that's why, growing up, oftentimes siblings will fight and bicker, but then later on in life, they'll end up being as thick as thieves. See, a lot of that push and pull can end up strengthening the relationship, but it could also end up putting a strain on it. You see, at this time, Jesus ends up showing 2 sides to his relationship with his mother. On the one side is that Mary has to see him at his worst. This is him being crucified. This is the worst day of her life. And at that point, in essence, he needs her to be his mother. He needs her to be there, even if it's just being powerless, is that she's loving him in the midst of that. So in that way, he's taking for granted that relationship of his mother, knowing that she'll be there for him no matter what. On the other side is that he's also not taking for granted that she'll be cared for, and he makes sure that somebody is going to be caring for her because he won't be there anymore. The thing is that we need to know that there are safe people that we can always turn to, the ones who will be there for us through thick and thin. Whenever we lose our temper, whenever we're feeling down, depressed, whenever we're struggling, whenever we have times of weakness, we need to know that there are those people that will be there for us and that we can lean on no matter what. And we want to be that for those people as well. But at the same time, we don't want to always be pushing them, always be taking them for granted. Because the thing is that after a while, it turns into abuse. And we don't want that to be what it is that we have with family. So when we think of family, we want to think of those people who will always be there in our life, no matter what. So as you think of those people that are family in your life, I want you to ask yourself, how is it that you know that you can lean on them and they can lean on you? But at the same time, how is it that you can make sure that you're not taking them for granted and make sure that you're not taking for granted yourself?